I realized I was anti-work pretty early on because I watched my mom work herself into an early grave.
Because one thing's for sure, two things for certain. If something happens to you, your job will replace you. Life will continue to go on.
It has gotten to a point where I don't even like to go to sleep when I get home, because I know if I go to sleep, when I wake up, I have to do work all over again the next day.
Hey ladies, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Here we do girl chat and social commentary on trending topics in the news and across socials. Now, this is a women-centered space where we give advice and we hold each other accountable. So if that content sounds good to you, stay tuned. Hey ladies, so I was inspired to do this video after coming across the following comment a user named Writer Victoria left on my video about how toxic relationships can make you ugly. And as you can see in her comment, she says, managers at the workplace can aid you as well. She said, I ghosted everyone this year because I got sick of it. I went from looking like a supermodel to critically ill, 80 pounds overweight, and suffering from insomnia. And y'all, honestly, when I saw her comment, it made me want to really touch on this topic because I don't think it is discussed enough how stressful a job and a hostile work or toxic work environment can impact not only your appearance, but your physical and mental health as well. Like, I don't think that is really emphasized enough, right? Especially in relation to women. Like, I feel like it has a major, major impact on our overall well-being. So I wanted to get some stitches of other women describing their experiences in a toxic or hostile work environment and how it impacted their health, well-being, and then I'm going to come back with my thoughts on this topic.
I realized I was anti-work pretty early on because I watched my mom work herself into an early grave. I was a freelancer straight out of college. I worked as a freelance print production graphic artist and bit by bit worked my way into marketing, email marketing, brand strategy, creative strategy, things like that. I'm really excited and happy to hear conversations about stress and work-related stress and how these things play huge roles in our livelihoods and well-being. When they say stress is a killer, believe it, it really is. There were signs long before my mom passed that she did deal with, but what you don't feel today can affect you 5 years down the road. So please stop letting that job stress you out. I know it's hard. I really do. I am a single woman, no parents. I have a good community. I have a good circle around me. It's one of the reasons that I want to continue building this community, no matter what happens with this app or any other app. Also, let this be your reminder to stop stressing about that job.
Baby, do not let that job stress you out so much to the point that your heart is palpitating and you can't sleep at night. Let's talk about it. Work stress hit differently because, baby, this is my livelihood. This is my money. So if you mess up at work or you have like a project deadline that's coming up or whatever the issue is, a coworker that's hating on you, whatever, do not let it keep you up at night. Because one thing's for sure, two things for certain. If something happens to you, your job will replace you. Life will continue to go on, even if yours ends. And I don't know about y'all, but too much stress on the body don't do nobody no good. Your body go into fight or flight mode because it's having all this stress, anxiety, and everything just put on it at once. You got to take care of you first thing. The work will be there. If you lose your job, another job will be there. So please take it from me. Take care of yourself. Show up for yourself. Of course, do your job, do your tasks, do what you got to do. Show up, do your work, get the money, get the check, because that's why we here. But don't let it overly consume you outside of work hours. That's all I'm saying. Bye.
Last 24 hours, I've realized a lot of things about myself thanks to posting this video and a lot of these comments. One, I should not trust my manager, which, yeah, I already knew, but you guys also think I wanted to share that. Like, you think I had control over letting that break? I was trying to, like, before I had this one-on-one with her, I literally was like, should I cancel it? I contemplated canceling because I knew, like, my emotions were so, I'm gonna cry now, like, they were so, when I think about work, it's literally like this. What the fuck? I also realized maybe I'm not gonna cry on camera with y'all anymore. Y'all don't like to see a bitch really be vulnerable. It finally just clicked for me too, like all this guilt I've been carrying about being a job hopper and like quitting jobs pretty frequently once I get like they're being too much, like they're getting too involved and it's starting to feel like pressure. It's been a reoccurring theme in my job history. You could ask anybody that knows me. Anybody that knows me, like that's a defining feature of my personality, that I will leave a job when it starts to feel overwhelming. A lot of people are saying I'm gonna end up fired, and you know, if that's what happens, I'm not saying that's what I want. It's just that's what it will be, and I will pick myself up because at the end of the day, these jobs don't care about us. So I'm trying to hang on. Like a part of me is even like, should I quit before they fire me? Like,
It has gotten to a point where I don't even like to go to sleep when I get home, because I know if I go to sleep, when I wake up, I have to do work all over again the next day. Like, we have no time to ourselves. I literally try to stay up as long as I possibly can so that I can have a little time to myself. I get off at 8 p.m. every day. By the time I get home, it's 9:30. Then I have to shower, eat, everything else that I couldn't get to do because I was at work. What time do I have to myself? By the time I'm finished doing everything, it's 11 o'clock. I have maybe an hour to watch TV? And everybody was in my comments mad at my viral video when I said I don't want to work, I don't want to do anything. Why would anybody want to do this every day for the rest of their life?
Okay, y'all. So that was what those ladies have to say about the impact of a toxic and hostile work environment on your overall health. And it's unfortunate that this is something that's so common. I really felt the young lady that was almost being brought to tears just describing it, because for anyone that's ever had to deal with that level of stress at work, you know what it's like to cry on the job, to cry about even thinking about the next day, getting mentally prepared to go into work the next day, and have to deal with it over and over again, and the amount of trauma that puts you in, like the state of trauma. Like, you know, I would joke how my last job gave me PTSD, or I have PTSD from my last job. But it's really not a joke, not so low key. Like, it really is real. Like, it really did take me months after leaving that last job to re-regulate my nervous system and take me out of that state of that constant fight or flight mode. It took me a while to get that out of my system and just recognize that I am now in a healthy work environment where it is not required for me to be on edge every moment of the day, you know? And so when I took a look at that initial clip that I inserted in the beginning of the video, you know, as you can see, this woman experienced all the telltale signs of extreme stress, high cortisol levels. I mean, you know, she had the bloodshot eyes, the tired eyes, like the skin that was starting to be crepey and was like progressively getting drier, like the bloating, the hair loss, that shot of it thinning out completely towards the end, like her hands locking. Like, clearly that is a prime example of someone that was traumatized by their job. Like, her body was literally screaming at her for help. And y'all, I remember at my last job, even though it was fully remote and I love my team, I love my director. By far, it was one of the most stressful jobs I've ever had in my life. And I think I had like 2 breakdowns within the first 3 years I was there. And it wasn't just me either. Like, it wasn't just me that was stressed. Like, my director gained a bunch of weight. One of my team members ended up in urgent care because he was having heart palpitations. Another woman on our team was constantly getting sick because she had an autoimmune disorder that was triggered by stress. And because the job was so hectic, it was causing her health to decline. And I remember reaching a breaking point where I was so mentally drained and exhausted that I called my director and I quit. Like, I literally was like, I can't do it. Like, this is my last day. Like, I was like, I can't take it anymore. And we had the type of relationship, because I knew her from a previous job, that I could talk to her like that. So I definitely, like, y'all definitely don't do that unless you really are very close with your higher ups. But in my case, like, we were very, very close. So me telling her that I knew was safe, like I knew it was a safe place to vent. But in that specific period of time, I had no job lined up. I did have savings, and my housing costs are so low that, I mean, I could work at Rite Aid and cover my bills, right? But you know what happened? My director immediately went to the higher ups and said, "We're losing her. She's trying to leave." And no lie, within a week, they hired a temp to help me. So imagine if I was working somewhere where they didn't care about my well-being at all. Like, I would have had to just make my exit. And the same way that I will not hesitate to leave a bad relationship, I will not hesitate to leave a terrible job either, you know? But the saddest part about that initial clip, in my opinion, and what even some of the other ladies had to share, was that it took her getting let go for her to leave that environment. And ladies, I'm telling y'all right now, if any job has you stressed to the point that your appearance is declining to that rate, to where you're experiencing health complications, your hair is falling out, your hands are locking, you know, your bloodshot eyes, you're bloating, you're gaining a ton of weight, extremely high cortisol levels, you need to start crafting an exit strategy ASAP. Start applying elsewhere, utilize that sick time and PTO to replenish yourself, apply for FMLA if necessary, start saving, right? Like, you need to become bearish, you know, to the point where if you need to downsize, sublet a room in your house or your place to bring down your housing costs, try to put away at least 6 months worth of expenses in the event that something happens, like, just to be safe. Because I would much rather you get in preparation mode to be gone than to continue to slave at a job that, if you were to fall out and be unalived today or tomorrow, they would have your position posted, you know, reposted to LinkedIn within an hour of finding out. Like the lady said, like, they will replace you with the quickest. Like, these jobs don't care about you, right? They do not care about you. In the same way we prioritize centering ourselves on this channel, that also means that you need to leave any environment that's detrimental to your physical, mental health, and well-being. Like, any environment. So if it's a toxic relationship, if it's a toxic work environment, if it's a toxic family situation, you have to craft a plan to leave, you know? And I think we as a collective need to normalize recognizing the red flags in work environments the same way we do in relationships. Because the same way we experience our energy being drained or harvested in relationships, it also gets zapped on the job too. And I personally think energy harvesting is worse on the job, because in some cases, it's already a place where you expend a bunch of energy. You know, you're thinking, you're creating, you're delegating. So when you add in elements like a micromanaging boss, work gossip or cliquish coworkers, unrealistic deadlines, overwhelming workloads, you know, understaffed environments that leave you with no work-life balance, it becomes a exhausting, unhealthy cycle that will eventually wreck your nervous system. You know, like I said, I used to say that I had PTSD. Like, I literally felt like that. I had to re-regulate my nervous system, and the toll that it ends up taking on you, it can affect you down the line. Like, even after you leave, it can still have negative impact on your health. So it's definitely something to take serious, y'all. So that was my message for today. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Definitely share your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know if you've ever dealt with a hostile work environment or toxic work environment, and how did you navigate your exit? Like, how did you coordinate your exit plan? Or are you still currently in that kind of environment, and are you planning to leave? I hope so. Let me know your plans. I'm curious, so definitely let me know. And until next time, I love y'all so much. Bye.
I don't know who need to hear this. I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. But if that job stressing you out is making you ugly. I just had an old coworker that I used to work with DM me after I posted a picture on social media and said, "I've never seen you look this fine." Yeah, because that job was stressing me out and I had to go. Leave that job. You look a mess. It's making you ugly. They're going to be shocked when you leave because you're going to look totally different.